The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. Prime Minister Davis says there's no quick fixes on inflation, but the country's moving in the right direction. New fuel margins take effect today. And the F&M chairman says Princess Margaret Hospital is in a dire state. But the current Minister of Health, Michael Darville, says Sands is responsible for the failed state of the hospital. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
It's a new day. Wake up. It's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Tuesday, October 1st, 2024. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Duquesa Dean will be joining us. Also this morning, we'll be talking with CIBC about the Walk for the Cure. That's coming up in just a few days. And later in business, we resume our monthly series with Small Business Development Center. We're talking about their much in-demand Men in Business standalone grant for men. Finally, you've asked for it and it's here. We'll get all the details about that. That's all ahead. But first, it's time for the Overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the Overnight, insisting that the Bahamas is finally moving in the right direction, Prime Minister Philip Davis welcoming a new report from global credit ratings agency Standard & Poor's, noting that it pointed out that the Bahamian economy has experienced robust growth. However, Davis played down S&P's assessment that growth will slow this year to a 1.8% and said there are no quick fixes to address the inflation crisis. S&P, while affirming the country's credit ratings, held off on elevating the outlook from stable and pointed to the Bahamas being below average in terms of long-term growth performance compared with that of countries at a similar level of development. The agency said slowed growth is expected over the next 1 or 2 years. While the opposition on Sunday expressed serious concern with S&P's conclusions, the Prime Minister said the report comes 3 years into the term at a time when they're honoring the Bahamian people for how far they've come, recognizing there's much work to be done still. He again characterized the economic and fiscal conditions his administration met in place in 2021 as grim. Meanwhile, increased fuel margins take effect in the Bahamas today. The government proposed or approved a 25-cent margin increase for a gallon of gasoline, inclusive of VAT, and a 16-cent margin increase of a gallon of diesel, inclusive of VAT. Bahamas Petroleum Retailers Association had been pushing for increased margins for years. Economic Affairs Minister Michael Halkitis saying they made a compelling case, the retailers, and, quote, they hadn't gotten an increase in many years. Their cost of operations was increasing. Going forward, we have to look at the entire model. They have certain issues with the deals they strike with their landlords in terms of rents and franchise fees. At some point, we have to look at that whole operation and come to a position where our actions don't lead directly to an increase in the price at the pumps. Speaking with the NASA Guardian yesterday, Halkitis said the government had an important balance to strike, helping to prevent petroleum retailers from going out of business while being careful not to create additional financial burdens on motorists. The last time petroleum retailers received a margin increase was in 2011 under the Ingram administration. Bahamas Air Managing Director Tracy Cooper says that Airlines for America, an organization representing multiple U.S. airlines, presented a formal objection to Bahamas Air's application for renewal to continue flight operations in the U.S., but he says this was not due to any matters relating to Bahamas Air and more to do with the group's objection to the pricing structure of the Bahamas Air Navigation Services Authority for aircraft overflight fees. Cooper saying that the regulatory renewal application to the U.S. Department of Transport is separate and apart from this, and that Bahamas Air will continue its services into the United States uninterrupted. He said Bahamas Air will continue operations into the U.S. on October 3rd, as expected. Cooper noted that Bahamas Air made its routine renewal application to the United States Department of Transport on August 28th. National Security Minister Wayne Munro denying that former Commissioner of Corrections Charles Murphy was sent on administrative leave within days of the PLP's election win in 2021 for political reasons. Munro was cross-examined by attorney Ramona Farquharson during a trial in the Supreme Court before Justice Carla Card-Stubbs. On September 30th, 2021, Munro announced that Murphy was placed on immediate administrative leave pending a full investigation into several issues at the prison. He also announced that Deputy Commissioners of Corrections Bernadette Murray and Dawn Clare, who were at the time in the National Security Ministry, were ordered returned to the Department of Correctional Services. Clare is now the Commissioner of Corrections. After being sent on leave, Murphy sued the government, seeking a declaration that he was never given a reason for being put on leave, that the permanent secretary breached the Correctional Services Act when she placed him on leave, an order quashing the decision to put him on leave, and an order reinstating him as Commissioner of Corrections. You can read more about that in today's Nassau Guardian. And with the Davis administration planning to break ground on a new hospital in western New Providence in the coming weeks, F&M Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands urging the government to instead allocate resources towards repairs and maintenance at the Princess Margaret Hospital. Sands said in a weekend visit to PMH that it revealed that it is in a dire state, and he called for immediate action to address concerns including overcrowding in the accident and emergency section and a lack of running water in the men's bathroom in the critical care block. But Minister of Health and Wellness Dr. Michael Darville yesterday accused Sands of being hypocritical in his comments. He told the NASA Guardian, quote, the former Minister of Health, Dr. Dwayne Sands, appears to be suffering from a convenient lapse of memory. After spending more than 3 years as minister, longer than I have served in this role, he now surfaces to offer critiques of the very system he failed to address. He left no legacy worth remembering and is now desperately seeking relevance by trying to rewrite history. And from the courts, a man who fathered a child with his former girlfriend's teenage daughter has been jailed for 8 years. 30-year-old David Martin pleaded guilty to unlawful sexual intercourse when he appeared before Senior Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson for the start of his trial. Martin, a diver, began an intimate relationship with the teen on June 1st, 2023 that continued up to December 31st. The matter was reported to police in May 2024 after the teen's mother learned that she was pregnant. Martin confessed when arrested, and he was formally charged in June. Addressing the court, Martin said that he was sorry for what he did His lawyer said that he was remorseful and had pleaded guilty at the earliest opportunity. Martin has prior convictions for disorderly behavior, resisting arrest, obscene language, and threats of death. The lawyer suggested a sentence of 5 years. Meanwhile, the prosecutor recommended a sentence in the range of 5 to 7 years. In her sentencing, Grant Thompson said that Martin had carried out an abuse of trust. She said that at age 30, he knew the difference between right and wrong and ought to have known better. Overseas, the Israeli military today warning people to evacuate nearly 24 Lebanese border communities hours after launching what it said was a limited ground incursion against the Hezbollah militant group. Hezbollah denied Israeli troops had entered, but said it was ready to battle them. The military advised people to evacuate north of the Awali River, some 36 miles from the border, and much farther than the Litani River, which marks the northern edge of a UN-declared zone that was intended to serve as a buffer between Israel and Hezbollah after their 2006 war. Israel's warnings suggest that it may push deeper into Lebanon. The border region has largely emptied out over the past year as the two sides have traded fire, but the scope of the evacuation warning raised questions as to how deep Israel plans to send its forces into Lebanon as it presses ahead with a rapidly escalating campaign against Hezbollah. And we talked about this yesterday, a strike now underway by dock workers at 36 ports in the United States from Maine to Texas, the first in decades, could snarl supply chains and lead to shortages and higher prices if it stretches on for more than a few weeks. Workers began walking picket lines early today in a strike over wages and automation, even though progress has been reported in contract talks. The contract between the ports and about 45,000 members of the International Longshoremen's Association expired at midnight. The strike comes just weeks before the U.S. presidential election and could become a factor if there are shortages. Workers at the Port of Philadelphia walked in a circle outside the port and chanted, "No work without a fair contract." The union, striking for the first time since 1977, had message boards on the side of a truck reading, "Automation hurts families. ILA stands for job protection." Shipping companies made billions during the pandemic by charging high fees, according to union members. 40 or 50 workers started picketing in the port of Houston around midnight, carrying signs, "No work without a fair contract." Meanwhile, the U.S. Maritime Alliance, which represents the ports, said Monday evening that both sides had moved off of their previous wage offers, but no deal was reached. It's time for your first look at sports, brought to you by the Caribbean Baseball Cup. For the first time ever, a couple of Bahamians will be in the Major League Baseball playoffs. One is going as a player, and the other as a coach. Former Major Leaguer Antoine Richardson and the New York Mets booked their ticket Monday, turning back the Atlanta Braves in a thrilling 8-7 contest in Atlanta. The Mets needed at least a split of their doubleheader against their division rival Monday, and they took the first of two makeup games to ensure they would play in the postseason after missing out a year ago. They'll play in the National League wild card round. Bahamian professional baseball player Jazzarado Jazz Chisholm Jr. meanwhile is going to the playoffs with New York's other team, the Yankees. They're the top-seeded team in the American League and will receive a bye in the American League Division Series, where they'll play the winner of the 4-5 matchup between the Baltimore Orioles and the Kansas City Royals. Richardson, by the way, is with the Mets, and they ended the season as one of the best second-half teams in baseball since their early season struggles. They had the best win-loss record in the majors at 67-39, outscoring their opponents 541 to 430 in that stretch. More on that in today's Guardian Sports section. Well, that was Monday, so there was another game yesterday, and finally there was another schedule and won't soon be forgotten. An improbable comeback by the Mets in the opening game of a makeup doubleheader to secure their playoff berth. And so it looks like it's going to be good for Antoine Richardson. More from sports in the NFL last night. The Detroit Lions getting a win over the Seattle Seahawks, 42-29. And things looking not good at all for the Miami Dolphins with a 31-12 loss last night to the Tennessee Titans, the previously winless Tennessee Titans. At sports, brought to you by the 6th Caribbean Baseball Cup. Calling all baseball fans and families, the 6th Caribbean Baseball Cup is coming to Nassau from October 23rd to 28th at the Andre Rogers National Stadium. 6 countries, Cuba, the Dominican Republic, Curacao, the U.S. Virgin Islands, St. Martin, and the Bahamas will compete for the championship title. With 17 thrilling games over 6 days, it's your chance to witness the best of Caribbean baseball. Come out and support the teams and enjoy a fun-filled event for the whole family. Mark your calendars, October 23rd to the 28th. For more details, stay tuned and follow the hashtag OutaHair24. The 6th Caribbean Baseball Cup. Your first look at weather brought to you by Scotiabank. A surface high-pressure system will continue to dominate weather over the islands, generating light breezes and elevated temperatures for the next few days. Expect a few isolated afternoon showers and thunderstorms due to streaming moisture. Towards the end of the week, troughing is expected to enhance shower activity over the northern and northwest Bahamas into the weekend. We're expecting another hot day today on this first day of October, so there's a heat advisory in effect. Due to the high heat and UV indices, everyone's being advised to remain hydrated and limit outdoor activities. And use sunscreen. Your forecast for today for the northern Bahamas, including Grand Bahama, mostly sunny and hot, becoming fair and warm tonight. Pretty much the same for the rest of the northwest Bahamas, including New Providence, the central and southeast Bahamas, seeing the same conditions, mostly sunny and hot, a few cloudy intervals, becoming fair and warm at night. We're looking at temperatures hovering around 90 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down about 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. But the heat index during the day will make it feel like it's at least 102 Fahrenheit, 39 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have an extended outlook and look at the tropics coming up in just a bit. Your first look at weather brought to you by Scotiabank. Be a fraud fighter. Sharing isn't always caring. Keep your personal and financial info private. Never share account information with anyone. A reminder from your friends at Scotiabank.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
It is time for a break, but when we come back, we are discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Planning for retirement can be overwhelming, but with CFAL, it doesn't have to be. We offer tailor-made individual, group, and pension solutions that take the guesswork out of retirement planning. Whether it's for you or your company, don't leave your future to chance and let the trusted hands of CFAL's experts guide you toward peace of mind and financial stability. Low upfront costs and affordable monthly payments make it easy for you to build wealth so you can live well. Visit us at cfal.com to start on your path toward financial freedom. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
The future of driving is here, and it's electric. Welcome to EV City, Easy Car Sales' new home for electric vehicles. Whether you want an affordable model or a luxury ride, EV City has the perfect electric car for you. Don't just take our word for it. Come test drive the power, the smoothness, and the savings. You'll love electric after just one ride. Cut your driving costs in half and say goodbye to gas stations for good. Visit EV City on the highway through the Solomon Service Road and drive into the future today.
You are invited to the 6th Caribbean Baseball Cup at the Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium, October 23rd through 28th, 2024. Bringing the action will be the national teams from Cuba, Curacao, Dominican Republic, U.S. Virgin Islands, St. Martin, and Team Bahamas. There will be 3 games daily from October 23rd to 27th, and the championship gold and bronze games on October 28th. Don't you miss it. The 6th Caribbean Baseball Cup at the Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium. Save the date, set your alerts, and be there.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
For fast, reliable, and impactful printing services, look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Are you ready to be inspired? Get ready for the events of the year. Inspire Her 2024 is back and better than ever. Join us at the luxurious Atlantis Hotel Paradise Island on October 10th for an evening filled with inspiration, empowerment, and connection. Hear from leading women activists, entrepreneurs, CEOs, and more as they share their stories, insights, and wisdom. Get tickets now in the Alive Events app. Corporate packages and vendor opportunities are also available. Inspire Her 2024 Women's Conference, October 10th. Seeing you there.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Duquesa Dean. Duquesa, good morning.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Happy, should we really say happy? It's Global Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So shout out to all the cancer patients and survivors out there. It's also Global Menopause Month. So shout out to all the women trans.
Global Menopause
Yeah, it's Menopause Awareness Month. So we're going to send a shout out to all the women going through the transitions and all the men that support them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey. And welcome to October.
Yes, welcome October.
Yeah, so a lot going on. Hey, always a pleasure to see you.
I didn't fall start the other day.
Yeah, but not in the Bahamas.
Not in the Bahamas. I mean, I have a lot of leaves in my yard, but...
December, probably.
Hopefully.
The last week in December. But hey. All right, we got a lot to talk about this morning, a lot going on. We're going to be giving you details about, speaking of breast cancer, the Walk for the Cure, CIBC Walk for the Cure, which is Saturday coming. So we're going to get details about that. What do you need to know? And then later in business, our series resumes with Small Business Development Center. And every time we talk with them, there are some men who text us. And I do believe this is another incident where it seems Morning Blend, I wouldn't be surprised. We could take credit for this. Inspired them to do this.
Yes.
Because the guys kept saying, what about us? Even though they said that all of our programs are
for
open
everyone,
to men.
Yes. But now they've done something just
specific
for, you.
for men.
Stay tuned.
Men in Business Standalone Grant is here, and we'll get all the details about that this morning.
Yeah.
So, all right.
I'm so excited.
Yeah?
For the men. You know, the ones that text.
You think they're going to apply for anything?
I mean, no, but still. They'll probably find something else to complain about.
Something like,
oh, it's not enough. Or why it is so stringent?
Who like blue?
It's going to be hilarious this morning. You watch.
Bald men. What happened to us specifically?
But hey, you know, I spoke to Kevin Harris over the weekend. And that event that they had at the church, he said there were like a lot of men. So, I mean, the men are responding. That's awesome.
Yeah. This is the health seminar.
Right, at Bahamas Harvest. Right. Yeah, he said it was a great turnout.
Dave Williams a few days later was there, and he told us the same thing. So they had a good turnout for that.
Kudos to the men. I love it.
Good stuff. Finally. Finally paying attention and listening to people. Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, so that's all ahead, but there's also a lot to talk about right now in the news. And in the news, a lot to talk about, as we said. The big headline, the NASA Guardian, no quick fixes on inflation. Prime Minister Davis speaking about it in response to S&P's report, which he discussed yesterday, saying that the country's moving in the right direction. Once again, highlighting the challenges they met when they came to office, right after the during the pandemic, and how things have turned around. Despite the S&P saying that the growth will be slower, it's still growing, but much slower than it was last year. Of course, we had a lot of ground to make up.
Yes, we
and
did.
So, hey, but growing nonetheless, right?
Yeah.
And there's more news is going to affect the economy somewhat, I guess. New fuel margins take effect today.
Oh, today.
And October 1st. Right? And there's more that we want to get to as well, including Dr. Dwayne Sands, the F&M chairman, former Minister of Health, criticizing the state of PMH, and the current Minister of Health responding to that.
Slap back.
and there's also news on a court case, former commissioner of the Department of Corrections suing the government, Charles Murphy, and the National Security Minister testifying in court there. So if we have time, we'll get to that case as well.
Interesting.
A lot going on. Okay, let's get to this fuel margin story, because we have lots of questions. Been wondering how this was going to work. Will it be added on, or will the government take one on the chin, which means that we would take it all over. Right. But we don't. Anyway, let's see what we can find out here. So our Candida Ames writing about this today. Increased fuel margins take effect in the Bahamas today. The government approved a 25-cent margin increase for a gallon of gasoline, inclusive of that.
Say that again.
The government approved a 25-cent margin increase
Okay.
Inclusive of that. And a 16-cent margin increase for a gallon of diesel inclusive of that.
Okay. So the government gets a portion of the 25 cents.
Or is it coming out of anyway? Okay. Now,
I thought the 25 cents was for the retailer themselves. And then the government tax would be on the back end of that, on the other side of that.
again, so this is what we're trying to figure out, if they're taking it out of. Now, if you look at the prices in the gas tracker, it hasn't changed from where they were yesterday. So let's continue reading. Let's see, because the Bahamas Petroleum Retailers Association had been pushing for increased margins for years, and this is Hal Ketis speaking to the NASA Guardian. He said they had made a very compelling case. They hadn't gotten an increase in many years. The cost of operations was increasing. Going forward, we have to look at the entire model, continue to look at it. They have certain issues with the deals they strike with their landlords in terms of rents and franchise fees, etc. I think at some point we have to look at that whole operation and come to a position where our actions don't lead directly to an increase in the price at the pumps. Prime Minister Philip Davis acknowledged recently that motorists will see an increase, but said it won't be major. I guess that might answer the question there. He said, quote, it is manageable when you look at, first of all, how gas prices have declined over the last year and are continuing to decline. We expect that gas prices will continue to decline to at least December of this year. Speaking with the NASA Guardian yesterday, Hal Ketis said the government had an important balance to strike, helping to prevent petroleum retailers from going out of business while being careful not to create additional financial burdens on motorists. And so Hal Ketis said, quote, I think in my commentary on the issue at all times expressed that I was sympathetic to their plight in terms of their business model and the fact that many of them faced going out of business, and we were balancing that against high gas prices and as well higher prices generally. And so we have seen gas prices come down. We've seen the rate of inflation abate, so that has come down. It was up a couple of years ago, but over 6%, up over 6%. Now it's down more like 2 to 3%. We've seen that come down, and so we're speaking with them. They were able to indicate to us what the average driver will experience, and prices have come down, and so we decided to go ahead. The last time petroleum retailers received a margin increase was in 2011 under the Ingram administration. At the time, they received a 10-cent increase, taking their margin from 44 cents to 54 cents per gallon of gasoline. A 15-cent increase per gallon of diesel was also approved in 2011. All right. So what we're seeing in the business section might be the old price.
Right.
And by tomorrow,
Maybe
we'll see.
by tomorrow.
Yeah. So if that is the case, at one of the service stations, it is $5.45, and if that's a 25-cent increase, you can see the difference there. That's getting close to $6 again. $5.35 the lowest right now. $5.49 the highest. All right, so today is the day.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? This is as the Prime Minister says, inflation is coming down, but all eyes on the U.S. and the dock workers and the strike that has begun there. What impact will that have here?
Yes.
Will prices go up again if this goes on for an extended period, right before the holiday season, the shopping season?
Yeah.
And so lots of questions all around.
Yeah, would I like being very shallow if I'm just really concerned about the fact that my packages aren't here?
I think a lot of people are in the same boat or train with you. Pardon any intentionals or intentional puns. Yeah, a lot of people feeling the same way.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and
so
some have emergencies. Right? They need the stuff. And will it get here at all now? Yeah. Although it seems that both sides were closer yesterday to some deals.
Hopefully it's quick.
So hopefully it won't be much longer.
Yeah, hopefully it's quick.
But, this with the Hurricane Helene, I mean, the results have been catastrophic, right?
Yes.
I'm sure this is going to have some sort of impact. Yeah. And so.
You saw it? You saw the footage? It's heartbreaking.
Astounding. Yeah.
So a lot's happening one time.
Absolutely. And this is one thing I realized as a teenager in my early 20s that, thank God we don't have rivers in this country. We're very lucky.
Yeah. Because they had like 20 and 30 feet surge, even around the coastline.
Coastline, yeah. I mean, at least
But
that
the
has
rivers
somewhere to go. But
overflow
the
and
rivers
eroded the
overflow
road,
and
it
the
caused,
people.
the mountains
Yeah,
to-
it's landslides. They've got everything. And we
Houses
are,
were underwater.
Yeah, it's a terrible thing, and it's just sitting there. And that death toll is huge already. And they expect it to climb. So we've got a lot of things that could make this last few months a little challenging.
Yeah, difficult.
So we want to get your reaction to it, folks. How do you feel about it? I mean, the petroleum retailers have been crying for a long time. They definitely need it, and they were warning that their price, they could go out of business. But this has been averted for now. But you will feel it. Maybe not so much, but you will feel it.
I mean, last week the caller said, 25 cents is not a lot of money, right? So maybe we won't feel it, but it's per gallon. And when you already pay $100 a week to fill your V6, or $120.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So you will feel it.
You will feel it.
323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Toll free 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Let's go to the phone lines and we'll get to your text messages in just a bit as well. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You are on the air.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, Dwight, and good morning to Quessa.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, Dwight. Alexia, the report what we got from the financial, what they call the thing again?
S&P?
Right. Dwight, what I got from that is the fact that they said to us that, hey, the status quo is still in place in this country. Ain't nothing changing, Dwight. Right? These people just demonstrating us that they are not interested in growing the Bahamas. We can't tax ourselves out of what needs to take place in this country. We need growth, right? And it seems like our leaders are not interested in growing the Bahamas.
I wouldn't say they're not interested. I think they might be challenged with how to.
Right.
That might be more of it.
That's a big elephant.
Why it might be challenged on how to, right? Could you even come out and show us that you even haven't challenged in growing the country rather than trying to tax us out of what you call it? Because, for instance, Dwight, right, for all around our Bahamas, right, we have no growth on the Family Islands at all, except for certain Family Islands with the help of foreign investors, right? But when it comes from a Bahamian point of view, right, there is no growth coming out of our. The only thing I saw this government did, right, is when they said they got $160-something million out of an imaginary fund, right? And they invested into the one hotel on Paradise Island was supposed to give Bahamians benefit, right? But what are we doing in this country? Because it seems like the status quo is all we get to operate from. We don't have no big dreams. We don't have no big desires as a nation other than what we did.
I think plenty of people in the Bahamas do, but those people don't run for office.
Well,
and so,
especially
in this type of system that we have.
I agree with that 1,000%. Yeah. And this is and based on that same statement, Bahamas, right? This is the reason why we have to move away from the same mindset of keeping this country in the position it is, because we need to grow this nation, man. We ain't grow yet, right? As from 73 to now, right? what year did we got a two? What they call it? We got a 2% increase in nothing. It's always 1% or no percent. 51 years. What are we doing? And it's like we are all of these educated people. We are all around this country, all around this world, right? It seems like Bahamians don't have no type of education when it relates to the growing of this country, man. You guys have a nice day.
Okay, all right. Thanks a lot. I mean, that people have presented ideas. Whenever it goes against the grain, you'll hear the Christian Council or people will say this is that, not for this nation. This is whatever. We can't be that place. So there's a lot of people who are afraid to take the big leaps that might be needed. So we are in our little bubble. Tourism mainly, possibly financial services, and we're not going to stray too far from some of the other things. But when we do, people, the expressions, the way they make up their face, right? Everything like, what's this about? Who's going to benefit from this? Somebody's going to get something, right? And everyone's very suspicious whenever the government tries to think outside the box.
And it's a big problem. It's not an easy fix. It's about 50 years of things that happen. It's accumulative. Yeah. So trying to get that all resolved.
Lots of trauma.
As you can see with the lack of trust. But people being suspicious whenever, you try to do something.
Saying, where did this come from? We didn't want this. Who said this wasn't in the blueprint? This wasn't in the manifesto. Why all of a sudden we doing this? And so
who can get this money?
Right.
Yeah, we're very suspicious. We're very suspicious.
Oh boy.
And to an extent with cause.
Yeah.
To an extent with cause. We have to, we could be fair, but we also have to be open-minded to the new revenue streams that are possible. And we have to be okay being outside of our comfort zones because you just have the power of choice. What you don't want to participate in, don't.
Yeah, sure. Sometimes you're forced to do things. But I hear you. But I will continue to say the system of governance we have is a limiting factor, especially for the family islands, like the caller mentioned. And I'm telling you now, that this is not a system that's designed to see those type parts of the country thrive independently. They have to move when the central government moves, and that's always going to be like we're hearing a lot now about whether it's a priority, and they'll never be a priority.
That's sad.
Never.
That's sad.
And so there's God knows how much potential.
There's a lot,
but it'll never, ever happen.
And it's so obvious
as long as we have this system
that Nassau cannot continue to be just the one hub.
Oh yeah, who said
it can't?
It can.
Right now, I'm honestly ready to call for what do you call it? To stop cars coming into the country. I mean, you can't. The morning traffic is ridiculous. You can't even get on the road because there are like a gazillion cars because everyone is on this country in this one little Nassau. 4 people in the house and 4 of us have cars because the transportation system
5 got a weekend car too.
It's just, it's just, you can't even use it and feel safe. So this has to, at some point, we're going to crash. We're going to crash at some point.
Well, we're not at the tipping point yet. So
we're far, Dwight. Dwight, we cannot be far. We cannot be far.
Well, once they can dredge everything, you'll see how much more they can go. Let's take another call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, guys. How are you all this morning?
Doing well.
Good morning.
Every morning that guy called, it has to be something negative about the government. But what do you have to realize? The Bahamian people are the government, okay? If you want change, you have to wait towards change, all right? But if you're looking for the members of parliament to bring the change you want, you have to agitate for that, okay? And S&P didn't say anything bad about the Bahamas. They said the Bahamas economy will remain stable. It wouldn't grow as much as it should grow, but it would remain stable during the next fiscal year, okay? So, sometimes people have to read and listen and understand what they're reading and what they're wiring into. And Dwight, this government, right, I'm not speaking on behalf of the government. I'm speaking on behalf of what I heard in Parliament and what I heard in the news media, okay? this government intends to grow the orange economy, which will be good for the family islanders, that they could create their own businesses to sustain themselves. And the gas retailers, that 25-cent increase, it's a great increase for them. It ain't nothing much. In the last 10 years, they have only, and from 2010, they had 10-cent increase. Come on, man, let's be realistic, okay?
No, we're asking if the public can handle it. That's what we're asking. It is great for the petroleum retailers. We're asking whether the public will be impacted.
Remember now, gas prices was almost $6 the other day. We are under $6. We are like $5.30 something, $5.40 something, right? Is that include the 25-cent increase?
I don't think so. Not yet.
Well, even if it includes the 25-cent increase, we're still under $5.70. Okay, so at the end of the day, like I say, it's a benefit for all of us. Okay, it's a 25% increase for the customer on the outside.
$5.70 is a lot. I think there's probably
lot, but look at it realistically.
98% of Americans would never pay that.
Hold on,
they would walk 10 miles before they do.
America was almost $5 the other day.
Yeah,
okay,
it's not been that.
What is not true?
I mean, they would not stand for it. It would be something unbelievable.
The other day, gas price in America was almost $5, $4 and almost 60 cents.
That's in California.
Pardon me?
California.
It doesn't matter which.
Yeah, it does matter.
It does.
It really does matter. That this is what we tolerate here in the Bahamas. Most people in other parts of the world would not tolerate.
But you have to still remember, we are still a third world country.
No.
On a first world status.
No. First of all, that type of language, we don't use that anymore. And also, that cannot be used. That's the main reason why you have to say we can't tolerate it. Right? Because people are not making what they do in other parts of the world, yet we're paying double what people are paying. So we are really, really taking it here. Who has the electricity bills that we have?
Mortgages.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
So it is going to add up. And again, as we said, with what's happening potentially in the U.S. with the strike, this could be a challenging next few months. So that's what we're talking about. We're not trying to hit at the government, just saying that there are pressures coming from all around. And hooray for the Petroleum Retailers Association.
Yeah.
Great.
They've been pressing for that for years.
But,
who
is checking for the Bahamian consumer?
Yeah.
Who is just a punching bag, it seems. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight, and good morning to Quessa.
Hi, good morning.
That last caller really smelled like PLP Kool-Aid to me. It tastes like PLP Kool-Aid to me.
I was going to say, what does it smell like? Don't answer.
I got smell-o-vision on my phone.
Okay.
But the first caller, he's right on, because what he's looking for, he wants better. He might have one or two little niches here and there in his dissertation, but he wants better. And like I said, the last one smelled like PLP Kool-Aid to me. And to Quessa, you said something about the cars. Yes, we are overcrowded, we are overloaded with cars. But what we need to do, somebody needs to seriously take a look at the public, a proper public transportation system. We are surrounded by water. So instead of all them cars trying to come out east, we could get some nice-sized water ferries to take us from east to downtown, those who are going downtown or out west. There's a lot of things we can do, but these brothers ain't checking. But Dwight, the elephant in the room is the gasoline. What hit me, what you said this morning, is that the government is taking VAT out of that. A 16% increase in diesel. What the 10% VAT is on that? 1.6 cents, right? Right?
Yeah.
25 cents would be 2.5 cents, 10%, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So automatically starting off, the gas retailers are at a disadvantage. The government look like they winning out of this. In addition to the hefty taxes they already charge on fuel. You understand? Mm-hmm. These brothers really, 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 really slick. And if you charge 1.5 and 2.5% tax on that, brothers ain't making no money. I mean, we losing, they winning. Mm-hmm. The bus drivers just get 25% increase. the motoring public got to pay that. And who could lose in this, Dwight?
It's always us.
It's us.
Always.
And like this question said, ain't 25% a year. That's 25%, 25 cents a gallon.
25 cents, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So imagine those bus drivers or those boats or yachts that spend $6,000 for fuel to fuel up.
Yeah.
And these fellas joking with us, man. It's all a game. And I totally agree with the first caller.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
All
right. Thanks a lot. Let's get some other calls in. We've got a lot of great text messages as well. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi, are you there? Okay, let's take the other one. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Dwight. How are you doing?
Doing well.
And the question.
Good morning.
Dwight, let me ask you a question. Does the Bahamas have a growth plan?
A what?
A national growth plan.
Growth. Oh, I thought you said goat. Goat. We probably have a goat plan, not a growth plan, but
the reason
probably
is that,
goat.
Right. That's what I'm trying to find out. Is this growth plan an exclusivity to cabinet that nobody knows what it is? None of the participants, none of the business factors, none of the people that wants to get into business, etc. You talk about growing the tourism product, right? We have no growth plan. Let's just pretend about it. Just listen to the Minister of Health. What he says is that I came in 3 years ago to fix your problems, and he's still talking about the problems that he came to fix, as if though he did no assessment as to what has to be done. These are the things that he should have came to us on the 17th, and say, here's the list of things I met in place, and these are how I'm going to address them. And we could have a progress chart that is done. What they're doing is they're ruling in chaos. We talk about the tourism product. Let's use Grand Bahama alone. About a decade ago, a survey was done that said the Grand Bahama needed a total of 14,500 keys as room nights for it to be a viable tourism product. That's not to support infrastructure like hotels and tours and other different things. So the question is, where's the strategy to add that?
Hotel room keys, you mean, right? That's what you're talking about?
Yeah, hotel room keys, right?
When you say Grand Bahama and keys, you got to be very specific.
Okay, right. Hotel room key. The keys, but I'm saying it means the rooms.
Mm-hmm.
So New Providence needed to expand, and all the other islands have to expand. So here it is. I say this all the time. We had 6 million tourists that generate $300 million. We had 1.5 million tourists practically that generated $2.2 billion. The 1.5 million tourists was the stay over, generated 7 times the revenue that the cruise industry did. So we need heads in beds as opposed to people on boats. So the question then is, where's the strategy? What you have is the Minister of Tourism sitting on his hands, waiting for existing product to expand. They're already here. They know what it is. That's not just new investment. That's an expansion of a business. The new growth that pulls people in. We have a great cruise port here in Grand Bahama. We'll have 200 full-time workers with 6 million people. And so the question is, we are not having real conversation. I'm not going to take too long, but the SBDC, hey, we're going to celebrate. We're going to give you $10,000 to start a business. In the United States and other developing countries, you don't have a viable business plan unless you could run it for 3 years without no revenue. Which business you could run for 3 years with $10,000 without no revenue? And so we call those business development. We call these different things. We need access to capital, fintech, and all these other different things makes it available, not just here. The problem is we are not speaking to anything in the proper context. If we don't know, it says you cannot manage what you cannot measure. You cannot measure what you refuse to acknowledge or incapable of acknowledging or understanding. We need real conversation.
All right. Thanks a lot. I mean, SBDC doesn't quite work exactly the way you say, but sure. And it's often for existing businesses too. So, but they certainly do look at all of that. All right, let's take this call and then we'll get to your text messages. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi, are you there? Okay. Let's read these two questions. Somebody's saying here. The increase, the fuel margin increase, isn't going to stop most of us from being all over the place all hours of the day.
It won't. It won't.
Well, it shouldn't.
I mean, it might limit how far you could go, but yeah, I agree with the text. That's the thing. We just pay it anyway.
Well, that would be a problem, right? So it wasn't designed to do that.
Yeah.
That's not the plan. This person says here, the flying tax man taxing us again. Why couldn't the government absorb the 25 cents for the Bahamian people? Well, this person says here, can you repeat the point you made about what's happening and how that's going to affect delivery packages?
Okay.
All right. So again, they're having a strike. A dock workers strike started at midnight this morning. And so U.S. ports from Maine to Texas have shut down. 45,000 dock workers went on strike. So if it drags on, a lengthy shutdown, according to the Associated Press, could raise prices on goods around the country, which means including the Bahamas, right? Because we are a major importer. And potentially cause shortages and price increases at big and small retailers alike as the holiday season approaches, along with the presidential election. Yeah. And, so they're saying that that wouldn't be good. That wouldn't be good.
Especially long term.
No, it's October. People already started.
Right.
The very fortunate people have already started their Christmas shopping.
Yeah.
Good for them.
And Thanksgiving.
Yeah. And, and that's next month. Think of it that way, right? And if you do travel, and you go to those Black Friday sales, will things even be there? But will the prices not be as good as in years gone by? That caller is there? Yep. Okay, good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Sorry for calling back, Cousin Dwight, and to question. But that 16-point of maths question with the 1.6 and the 2.5% VAT wasn't finished. I only get 50%.
Okay.
So I can finish it off.
Oh, okay.
Remember, 1.6% VAT and 2.5% VAT means that there is half cents involved in there. Remember, Bahamas, we have done away with the penny. So 1.6%.
Well, physical
calculate into 5
only
cents.
credit card penny.
Round it up.
If it's digital, I mean, so not necessarily, but if it's digital payments.
We did away with the penny. So
the physical
it can round up. It can round up in any event.
If you're paying cash, no. I still get bills for $18.34, right? And you pay that. If you're paying digitally, right? If you're making a cash payment, it rounds up or down.
Well, that's what I know. The retail, the petroleum retailers is paid cash. They can't trust nothing. I know that for a fact. So just keep it in mind that that 1.5 and that 2.5%, that if rounded up, that's going up to 5 cents if they got to pay cash. Now, Bahamas, this is a warning. See them longshoremen? Everything we get in this country comes via shipping. If they stop for 2-3 weeks, buddy, y'all better go now. Y'all think COVID is bad. Go now, go get your bale of rice, go get your grits, your tuna, and your corned beef. Because it ain't going to be nothing on them shelves if them fellas slow down if they don't come to some agreement. Thanks for taking my call.
Okay. Well, the supermarkets here were asked about this last week, and they said they, of course, stockpile and have enough for months.
For a few months, okay.
So that might not be the best thing to do right now. We don't need to have the
Panic.
types of behavior we saw during the pandemic, where people were buying all the toilet paper they could find. So everybody just calm down.
Toilet paper is going to be gone.
Let's not even put this in the atmosphere any further. Let's just hope calmer heads prevail and that this is not a long issue. All right, so a few more messages here. This person says here, no prime minister from the PLP or the FNM has seen it fit to fix the public bus system or seen it as a benefit to the economy. No prime minister from the FNM or PLP will see removing that or customs duty as a benefit to the economy. Stop crying when these people do what they do and start showing them now that you've had enough mismanagement and go downtown and demand they do better. It is your civil duty, Bahamians. Stop waiting till election to put the same people back. I've already told you. Don't hold your breath. Right, it's a system, especially with public transportation. Those are usually done on a city level or maybe a state level, and we don't have that type of system here. If you're waiting for the central government to do it, you will be waiting on the bus.
Yeah. I mean, Dwight, even the current system, if we could just have some enforcement, excuse me, of our traffic laws, that system would even be a bit more attractive. But the Wild Wild West is, no. We just need enforcement at this time to help, with the current system that we have, and then look at how we can build. There should be other avenues as well. I'd long to get on a train here and go around Nassau. I mean, is it possible? I don't know, but you can't limit your dreams. I just feel that we can do more than what we've always done. That's what we're doing. We're just doing more and more and more of what we've always done. And insanity is doing the same thing, expecting a different result.
Yeah. A couple more messages before we go to a break. This person says here, what in the world is that former caller talking about? The previous caller, our normal gas prices are around $4 or $5, or well, used to be around $4, they're saying. $5 is astronomical. Gas prices in the U.S. have been around $3 for the past 2 years. Yeah, we've been
and
putting
again,
up
it
with
depends where in the U.S. because some of them have been like California. Some of the have been really high, but it's been averaging around 3 something.
Yeah. This person says we're not doing enough to invest in manufacturing. Our forestry and mangroves are textile uses. The only orange economy these chronic callers know about exist on a tree. I was going to ask him if that's what he meant, because orange economy on the Family Islands, the government's encouraging it. Clearly, orange groves. That's the only. I don't think.
I am not laughing.
That is not. Where is that being encouraged?
I don't know.
Barely being encouraged in your Providence. On the okay. Yeah. Anyway, we got some issues. Got some serious issues. This person says here at $6 per gallon, just idling is costly. Yeah. Yep. Dwight doesn't think traffic is bad. What are you talking about? Because who Dwight are you talking about? Dwight who? The Dwight who reads the traffic every morning to tell you that Prince Charles Drive is. Who are you talking about? Introduce me to this person.
What are they suggesting? That because you're here early, you missed the traffic?
Every day I say, people ask me, why do we do traffic? Because it's the same traffic in the same place all the time.
Yeah, it is.
So who Dwight?
I didn't know.
Who is that person?
That's the 5:30 coming to work, Dwight. They talking about. Not that you got to get off afternoon to get home, which is ridiculous traffic at that time too. So.
This person says, Dwight, I think we are overloaded by people and not cars. I think we need to put a limit on how. Oh, I think I know what that person is talking about. Because I said to you that we aren't at the limit yet.
Oh,
they didn't get my.
Okay.
This is, I tell people all the time, sarcasm is lost on the radio. They think I want NASA to be more.
Okay.
Maybe they're new. They don't know who I am.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. This is sad. We're going to take a break, folks. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Some people got to have it. Some people really need it. Listen to me, y'all. Do things bad things with it. Well, you wanna do things, good things with it. Yeah. Talk about cash, money. Talk about gas money, dollar bills, y'all. Come on now. Yeah. People will steal from their mother. People will rob their own brother. People can't even walk the streets because they're never.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. And now at 8:22, it is time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Sherwin-Williams Paints has got you covered for all your painting and equipment needs. Visit Sherwin-Williams Paints online or in-store today. Here's what's happening. We've got a surface high-pressure system that will continue to dominate weather across the country today, generating light breezes and elevated temperatures for the next few days. Expect a few isolated afternoon showers and thunderstorms due to streaming moisture. By the end of the week, troughing is expected to enhance shower activity across the northern and northwest Bahamas into the weekend. So as we said, enhanced elevated temperatures, and that means another heat advisory is in place. And due to the high heat and UV indices, everyone's being urged to remain hydrated, limit outdoor activities, especially during peak sunshine hours today. Your forecast for today for the northern Bahamas, including Grand Bahama, mostly sunny and hot, becoming fair and warm tonight. It's pretty much what we can expect in the rest of the northwest Bahamas, including Providence. And for the central and southeast Bahamas, mostly sunny and hot with a few cloudy intervals, becoming fair and warm at night. Temperatures getting up to at least 90 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius. The heat index will make it feel a whole lot hotter than that, though, at least 102 Fahrenheit, 39 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. In your extended outlook for Wednesday, partly sunny and hot, fair and warm at night. Pretty much the same for Thursday. And by Friday, variably cloudy to cloudy across the northern and northwest Bahamas. Partly sunny during the day, becoming fair at night. For the rest of the country, Saturday, partly sunny and hot, fair and warm at night. In the tropics, we've got a lot happening, but not a lot happening. So we've got Tropical Storm Kirk over the eastern tropical Atlantic. No threat to us at all. We've got a trough of low pressure over the southwestern Caribbean Sea. That has a 40% chance of formation during the next 7 days. And then there's a tropical wave a few hundred miles south of the Cabo Verde Islands. That has a 90% chance of tropical cyclone formation during the next 7 days. The tropical depression could form in a few days as the system slowly moves westward over the eastern Atlantic. So that's happening, and a couple of other named systems that are out to sea, not going to bother anybody. But that is your Morning Blend Weather Check. Weather Check also brought to you by Easy Car Sales. Reminding that EV City is now open near Abundant Life Road and the East-West Highway. Easy Car Sales invites you to drop by for a test drive today and start enjoying the EV life. Open every day except Sundays. Visit easy242.com to find out more. And time for a check of your traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. Find your loan solution with RBC. In your real-time traffic, it is not looking pretty out there, folks. We've got a number of hot spots to tell you about. Let's begin in eastern New Providence. We've got Prince Charles Drive, heavy traffic for you at a number of hot spots. Fox Hill Road, the intersection there, all the way through to Beatrice Avenue if you're heading westbound. Very slow-moving traffic, and that's going to continue into Robinson Road, all the way up to East-West Highway Marathon. Beatrice Avenue looking terrible. Backed up all the way to Charles Saunders Highway. Charles Saunders Highway also busy for you this morning. We've got Eastern Road, heavy traffic from just west of San Souci to Johnson Road if you're heading westbound. And then Northern and Fox Hill Road looking busy there too, near the schools in the area. That's northbound. Bernard Road also seeing a stretch with slow-moving traffic near the schools in the area. That Bernard Road, Soldier, Wolf, and Village Road intersection also busy for you at this hour. Then we've got Independence Drive seeing some slow-moving traffic eastbound to East Street and the roundabout there. And Blue Hill Road backed up. Busy for you, Cowpen Road, Zion Boulevard near St. Vincent and near Carmichael, and all the way up to the Independence Drive roundabout. It's going to be busy for you on the way up to Cordo Avenue as well. Carmichael backed up quite a bit eastbound to Blue Hill Road. And, of course, as Milo Butler Highway, a number of stretches there are going to be seeing some very slow-moving traffic straight through the Fire Trail roundabout if you're heading northbound. And then again, as you get closer to the six-legged roundabout, we've got issues northbound. We've got issues on JFK Drive, eastbound, southbound on New Providence Highway, and some congestion on Farrington Road as well. Tawny Williams Darling Highway seeing some major delays, especially as you head towards the Milo Butler Highway roundabout. Gladstone Road, though, looking good for you this morning, but the traffic is on the JFK side, especially along Lake Cunningham at this hour. West Bay Street also slow-moving traffic eastbound to New Providence Highway, and westbound slow-moving Carmichael Road traffic to Coral Harbour Road. Good luck this morning. You will need it. That's your Morning Blend traffic brought to you by RBC. Start a conversation at rbc.com/loan/all of you.
A fisher who braves the seas every day, bringing home a catch that feeds our communities. Nominate them now for the Anchor Awards, a night dedicated to celebrating the unsung heroes of our waters. On November 16th at the Bahama Resort, we're shining a spotlight on those who make waves, both big and small. Visit the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources Facebook page and click on the link provided to submit your nomination. Let's give our fishers the recognition they deserve. Anchor Awards 2024.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
Nassau. Get ready for a night you simply won't want to miss. For the first time in over 40 years, experience an evening with Eddie Menace live at the Amphitheater, Nassau Cruiseport on Saturday, October 5th. Tickets are on sale now. Go to ticketboxevents.com or go to the Nassau Cruiseport box office located in the Junkanoo Museum. Joining Eddie on stage, Fran Sean, Gino D, Ira Store, and the Higher Level Band. An evening with Eddie Menace live at the Amphitheater, Nassau.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, along with DeQuesta Dean on this Tuesday morning, first day of October. Coming up in a few minutes, we're going to be talking with CIBC about the Walk for the Cure, which is this Saturday. And then later in business, we're talking with SBDC about their Men in Business Standalone Grant. So a lot more to come. But we've been talking about what's in the news, talking about prices, the fuel margins, which take effect, the increase in the fuel margins take effect today, and that's going to mean 25 cents more for you in a gallon of fuel, or gasoline, and 15 cents more for diesel per gallon. So we're getting your reaction to all of that. And talking about the dock workers strike in the U.S. and if that's going to have any impact on on prices, just as the Prime Minister says, while there's been no quick fix on inflation, it has come down, and so they're trying to make life easier for Bahamians, but getting your reaction to all of that. So you can continue to give us your views on it. Call in 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. All right, we've got a lot of your text messages. This person says here, I'm a fuel retailer and no one likes to pay higher prices for anything, but it's been stressful, frustrating, and scary operating my business for the last 10 years plus with rising operating costs and a fixed profit. No one else who operates a business here is handicapped like this. Again, no one likes higher prices, but unfortunately, it's a harsh reality. Compare the increases in prices for food, building materials, medicine, etc. It's small comparatively speaking. Yep. We get it.
We support you.
Yes. Yeah. We get it. But we're just, as you know, everything else seems to be going up as well. And so it is a lot. It is a lot. I mean, salaries aren't going up.
Yeah.
Much at all. Yeah, we read that already. This person says here, what's my problem? This is what you said earlier. You said too many people have cars here. What's the problem with me owning a car and wanting to own my own car? What is the issue?
The issue? Texter. Yeah. Oh, wow. Think about it. How many cars do you see on the road with you in the morning?
To limit these people?
I'm not trying to limit anyone. What I'm doing is advocating for options. There are people who would want to use public transportation, who don't want to have to worry about fighting and navigating the traffic for themselves if they were able to use public transportation, particularly if it would be faster, right? Because it could be cheaper. It could help them say if they have a car, leave their car parked and save on gas, right? So I'm just talking about options. If you want a car, have a car. But I'm saying that there can be other options available as they are all over the world, right? Mm-hmm. You go to the U.S., you could catch the train, you could catch the bus, a very systematic time-based bus system. Yeah. You can hop in a rental car, you can drive your own car.
You get an Uber.
They're just options. So I'm advocating for options, hon. Don't take it personal. I promise.
This person says here, this is in response to C. Allen earlier, who said if we had a growth plan. This texter says the Bahamas has a concept of a growth plan. If you watch the presidential debate, you'll get that joke there. This person says here, most money in tourism is allotted to sales, not sustainable. Okay. I disagree with Duquesa. Enforcement of traffic laws would be great, but it wouldn't make the morning commute any easier. It's bad because good public transportation is non-existent and everyone has a car because they can't carpool. I think a lot of people don't try to carpool, but sure. Well, I don't know.
Very interesting. Yesterday I had a conversation with someone. We're going to visit a business organization, and her recommendation was, hey, can you guys carpool? Because we don't have, sufficient parking. Parking is prime in the downtown area, right? So can you guys not show up in 6 cars, but can you guys, get together and carpool?
What was the response?
Sure, we're going to make that work.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we are going to make that work. Because if there's limited parking and all of us need to show up, then it's a hassle to try to find parking downtown. Yeah. So it just makes sense to carpool.
Yeah. I think I told this story before in the year, but in my neighborhood as a kid, everybody on my street went to the same school, and we never carpooled.
You did say that.
Why did we do that? What was up with?
I don't know what was up with that.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, maybe they didn't
Next
think of
door,
it.
across the street, 2 doors down, 2 doors the other way. All of us went to the same school.
Yeah, maybe they just didn't
never
think about
caught a ride together. Never.
I don't know.
All of us sitting in traffic. What was that about?
Some people just want to drop their kids to school. But as they get older, right, teenagers and 10, 11 maybe, when you could be a little bit more vocal, but some people want to drop their tender granddaughter to school.
Oh, it was during the day when you were on retirement. Right. You said the same thing, that you wanted to. Yeah. So that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the traffic is literally horrid. I'm telling you, it is. Every Tuesday, I know that my Christianity is going to be challenged because of traffic.
Let me tell you how bad things were. There was one of the neighbors that if they left, you're like, oh my God, we're very late. 'Cause they're always, we're all going to the same school.
Wow.
But they left already. Like, oh no,
we gotta go.
late.
We gotta go.
Right?
It's not funny, but it's funny. And I shouldn't be laughing that much. But it's hilarious.
And it was bad. That was the 80s and 90s. And it was
Okay.
still bad then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh boy. Sitting in traffic watching a driver have time to pick a leaf from a tree while sitting in their car in traffic. The island will soon need to go on a schedule to drive vehicles. Well, you could do a lot.
Yeah.
I've thought about it. Have you not seen a store across the street? Like I could run in there and get a
I
coffee.
walk.
Really? Park your car in traffic and just
And
run across the
walk.
street
Yeah.
to get the coffee, come
Yeah.
back, and you'll still be there.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
You really could.
Yeah.
It's this person says here, gas prices are way down in the U.S., but going up here. And they have a sad emoji. Very, very upsetting. So a text was saying this to me. You know, every time we have the Standards Bureau on, there's somebody, I don't know if it's the same person, but people are saying, they were texting us about how you don't get a gallon when you go to the pumps. You don't get a gallon. And we're like, and all of us looked confused.
Right.
And it's every year when there's
Right.
World Standards Day, whatever it's called. Somebody texts and says, you don't get a gallon. They don't give you a gallon. Like, what are you talking about? The container can tell you it doesn't have a gallon. I learned last week, and forgive me if you all knew this, but U.S. gallons and imperial gallons are not the same. I had no idea.
You just taught me that this morning. So.
And I'm like, so all this... Producer, did you know that? Like,
I figure a gallon is a gallon.
No, a gallon is not a gallon. The imperial gallon is more than the U.S. gallon.
Well, what do we get here?
God knows. Because we spell stuff with the British spelling and we think we're in the Commonwealth, but everything is very American here. What are we getting here? Are you getting different things at different gas stations? What is the standard here?
Oh, wow. So you have to carry a gallon jug with you.
You got to take the right gallon jug.
Yeah, you got to buy the correct one.
You don't know which one. But obviously, if he thinks he's getting less, then you're getting the U.S. gallon. And so he's going in there with an imperial gallon jug.
Oh,
and so...
And it's not full.
But it's right. But everything else is British.
Right.
Except for the gallons. So,
wasn't the fuel surcharge for your electrical bill supposed to go down too because something last week we talked about it? When is that? When is that? What do you remember when that was?
The Prime Minister said that beginning last month.
Last month, okay. That fuel would decrease.
No, it wasn't about the fuel.
What it was?
The rates would come down.
What rates? Which rates?
I don't know what's happening.
Be clear, Dwight.
I really don't know. But the fuel was higher. But I don't know. But something will come down.
Okay.
There was a glitch. Remember they said that's why your rates didn't go down or your bills didn't go down. But they fixed it. And so for September, the bills that have come out in a few weeks should be lower than they were. But also, as everyone's been saying, while it's still very hot, you might not have used as much electricity last month as you did in August.
Typically, it kind of goes down in September.
Exactly.
Yeah, typically.
So it was going to go down anyway.
Right. Anyway,
but if it goes down $100, $200, then they might have really done something.
That's kind of
$20.
But I have been getting my $20 rebate. That first, 80, but that first 0 to 200. Yeah, that's been marking 0 on my bill. So that saved me $20.
Yeah, we all got that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's see if we can take some calls really quickly because we got to take a break. But good. Yep. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Caller, good morning. You're on the air really quickly.
Yeah, good morning, Dwight. Just quickly, let me explain to you why you will never have a unified bus system in the Bahamas, because it's an economic picture. If you have a bus system that, say, comes every 15 minutes during the day, 30 minutes during the middle of the day, later in the nighttime, half an hour, 45 minutes, why? No longer will you have cars buying gas, which is government tax. No longer would you have roadside garages because there'll be less cars. Then you have the multiplying effect of those. No longer would you have all those gas stations because you're going to have less cars that's going to need those gas stations.
Now, come on now. There are countries all over the world that have this, and that's not the case. But it won't happen, I agree with you, if we allow the central government to control this.
But Dwight,
if we decentralize this and make this a local government issue, we could have it.
This is my point to you, Dwight. Unless you have it decentralized so you can grow the economy to offset those losses.
Yes.
Because those are cascading losses when the guy that fixed the car can no longer cut his hair or no longer go to the corner store. All those have effect. This is why this big pie, trying to manage this big pie is too much for them. Whereas if you have microeconomies that comes under the big economy, it will allow these individuals to grow. You have individualist ideas rather than a small group of people trying to decide what all of us want. And that's why you come to the point what I'm making for you. We do need local government so we could grow individually, island to island, community to community, and become a cohesive part of a giant pie. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And we really have to be thinking like this. If you leave it up to the central government, it is not going to get better. It really isn't. We'll take this call. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight, to your guests and to the nation.
Hi, good morning.
But, Dwight, I had to call when I heard you speak of the gas issues in the gallon because I'm one of the callers that call every time you have these gas people on.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, Dwight, listen, if you take a U.S. gallon milk jug and you fill it with water and you pour that in a U.S. gallon gas jug, it will fill it to the top.
Yeah.
If you take the U.S. gallon gas jug and pour it into a U.S. gallon milk jug, it will fill it to the top. But when it comes to gas, you cannot get... If you go to the store and they sell you 3/4 of a gallon of a milk, will you pay for that? No. So it's the same thing with the gas. I mean...
But are you using an imperial gallon jug?
No, it says U.S. gallon. It says U.S. gallon on the can. Every can that I use... See, I have a landscaping company. Every can I use says U.S. gallon. Okay? So it tells you on the can what gallon it is. Whether it's for 5 gallons or 1 gallon or 2.5 gallons, it says U.S. gallon. All right? But I'll tell you, Dwight, they want this increase and stuff. So when you get this increase, then you're still taking even more from the Bahamians because you're not getting a gallon anyway. I'm telling you, if they're saying gallon of gas is $5.34 or whatever have you, and it's costing you $6.95 to fill a gallon can, something is wrong with that. Where is this additional gas going? I mean, is it going in a separate compartment or something?
Well, maybe they don't. Maybe they don't have it like so that the gas will be overflowing. Maybe they have some space in it. Do you think in the jug?
Yeah, but right. If gas is $5.34 a gallon, how does it take $6.95 to fill a gallon can? That doesn't make sense to me.
Like I said, maybe they have some space in it so that it won't be at the top.
So it gas will over.
Right. Perhaps. Let's.
We're all playing the guessing game here, okay?
No, but for your own safety, you don't want it to spill over.
Right.
All right, we're gonna take this call and we gotta go. Good morning, call. You're on the air. Hi, are you there? No. Okay. All right, let's take the break, folks. We're going to change gears when we get back. And this is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Here's the show-winning art store moment from Shelley and Dee Dee.
We're the only full art store in the Bahamas. If we don't have it, we make a list, and trust me, our boss can get that. If you need that, he can get that. You can find sketchbooks, acrylics, the canvases in all sizes, stencils. We have the Angelus that they use on shoes and letters. We're the only persons in Nassau that carries the Montana spray. We have the Krylon sprays, watercolor and paints, the oil, chalk paints, the alcohol paint, metallic paints, the little Floetrol, and we have cleaning products for the artists, thinning products for the artists, and Crayola colors, and glitters, pencils, the Posca markers, and pastels, oil, and the acrylic pastels, dyes. Oh yeah. We also have airbrush paint. I didn't forget that part of the movie. Gift sets, hobby craft,
Oil shrimp, stew shrimp gumbo. But art supplies. We have a lot of them. Sherwin-Williams Art Store. Find colour in every day.
At Wendy's, we are different. We don't just use beef. It's fresh, never frozen. Our burgers are square because we never cut corners. Served hot off the grill with fresh lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and American cheese. We believe in fast food done right. Always serving fresh, never frozen beef. Order a hot, juicy Dave single, double, or triple. Made with fresh, never frozen beef. Now only at Wendy's. Different inside and out.
Living with a neurological condition shouldn't define you. At Cleveland Clinic in Florida, we do whatever it takes to make life better today while discovering new treatments for a brighter tomorrow. From epilepsy management to specialized spine care and brain tumor surgery, we're delivering world-class neurology care for the day-to-day, for the days you live for every care in the world. Visit clevelandclinicflorida.org/Caribbean.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
The future of driving is here, and it's electric. Welcome to EV City, easy car sales' new home for electric vehicles. Whether you want an affordable model or a luxury ride, EV City has the perfect electric car for you. Don't just take our word for it. Come test drive the power, the smoothness, and the savings. You'll love electric after just one ride. Cut your driving costs in half and say goodbye to gas stations for good. Visit EV City on the highway through the Solomon Service Road and drive into the future today.
All those loans I had were so overwhelming. Fidelity's debt consolidation loan combined all my loan payments into one easy payment with a built-in savings plan that pays me unbeatable interest. It's time to make that move to Fidelity. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you. I used to bite my tongue and hold my breath, scared to rock the boat and make a mess. So I said quietly, agreed politely. I guess that I forgot I had a choice. I let you push me past the breaking point. I stood for nothing, so I fell for everything. You held me down, but I got up, already brushing off the dust. You hear my voice, you hear that sound, like thunder gonna shake the ground. You held me down, but I got up. Get ready, 'cause I've had enough. I see it all, I see it now. I got the eye of the tiger, the fighter, dancing through the fire. 'Cause I am the champion, and you're gonna hear me roar louder, louder than a lion. 'Cause I am the champion, and you're gonna hear me roar.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are changing gears now. Dwight Strachan along with Duquesa Dean. And the countdown is on to the CIBC Walk for the Cure. The annual event is back. And here to tell us all about this, we're very pleased to welcome from CIBC Marketing Manager Leanne Albury-Mitchell. And we have from GD Caring and Sharing Cancer Support Group, Anita Roll. Great to have you all with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so Walk for the Cure. How long have you been doing this now?
So this is actually our 13th year.
Oh, wow.
Walk for the Cure. The first walk was 2011. So this is 13 years of Walk for the Cure.
Excellent. Great stuff. Let people know exactly what this is all about and how it came to be.
Okay, so Walk for the Cure is CIBC Caribbean's signature cancer fundraising activity. During this time, we raise funds to support cancer care organizations throughout the Bahamas. So that is pretty much what we're doing now. We are going to have our walk this Saturday, October 5th. We are going to start at Goodman's Bay Corporate Center, and we will have 2 routes. You know, the runners, they can go a bit longer, so we'll have them going from Goodman's Bay Corporate Center all the way to our Sandyport branch and back. And then for the walkers, we take a little easier on them so they can turn around at Sandals. But yeah, Walk for the Cure is back.
That's a good walk.
So that's your Nassau route. I think for the last 13 years, you've done this walk in other islands. Can you tell us about that?
Yes. So regionally, we actually have walks throughout October in every territory that CIBC has a presence.
Okay.
But in the Bahamas, we are made up of multiple islands. So wherever we have a branch in the Bahamas, we will also have a walk at the same time. So
This Saturday.
This Saturday.
Okay.
So we have New Providence, of course. We have Grand Bahama. We have Abaco and Eleuthera. We'll all be walking this Saturday starting at 6:30 a.m.
Wow, that's great. That's logistically quite something.
Yes.
All right, so I want to ask you to give us the routes for all those. But all right, so know that wherever there's a CIBC, there is a Walk for the Cure this Saturday.
Yes.
That's great stuff.
They can get the routes if they're interested. They can get the routes. Visit our social media pages at CIBC Caribbean, particularly the Bahamas and TCI page. You can see the artwork there that spells out details, the routes for each island.
Excellent. Great stuff. So you said you're doing this in support of cancer support groups, and GD Caring and Sharing is one that's very close to our heart, especially my co-host here. And Anita, my co-worker, is here. Hey, let's talk about it. How long have you been a part of GD Caring and Sharing?
I would say roughly probably about 5 or 6 years now. Within the last 2, I have really become a lot more active in the group. And it is a cancer support group, of course, not just breast cancer. Of course, this month is the highlight for all of us breast cancer survivors, especially myself being a 13-year survivor now. And but we are here to actually support all cancer survivors. So in terms of you going through the walk, we don't want you to feel alone. We don't want you to feel that you don't have a support system or someone to talk to, someone to ask for guidance. GD Caring and Sharing is here for everyone that is actually willing to be a part of wanting to be affiliated with an organization like us.
Yeah. Let's talk about support, what that means and what that should look like.
Well, support can come in so many various forms. A lot of persons, I think they tend to think of financial as the first thing, which is actually the most taxing and onerous on any survivor, especially if you don't have insurance. But there's also the mental aspect of it as well, whereby persons actually need that assistance. It's a constant struggle as a survivor in terms of going to the doctor, not knowing what you're going to hear, even feeling an ache or pain. It's something as natural as if you start to feel a pain in your arm, naturally you may just say, let me take a pain pill. You wonder like, oh my goodness, what's going on now? You understand? So it's a constant mental struggle, especially when you talk about the persons who actually have to have operations whereby they probably have like breast removed, whether it could be hysterectomies, etc. You actually feel as though you have lost some semblance of normalcy in life and operating. So it's good to be able to actually connect with persons who have actually walked this journey and can help you through it.
Wow.
So tell us, Felicia, can you tell us just a little bit more about why this work is so important for CIBC First Caribbean?
So obviously we were a bank, but the reality is cancer is not just to be recognized or acknowledged in the month of October. Cancer touches people every day. So because this is not our line of business, we rely on these cancer care organizations to support patients with ongoing help. So for us, it's a cause that is near and dear to us, and we want to ensure that, yes, Walk for the Cure happens once a year, but the funds that we raise, it's to support patients daily. And that's why we rely so heavily on organizations like GD Caring and Sharing, like Sister Breast Cancer Support Groups, like the Cancer Society, to provide this ongoing support.
Absolutely.
Can you tell us how much has been raised in the past and how that has gone to help the groups?
Okay, so in the Bahamas alone, since inception, we would have raised over $500,000.
Wow.
But regionally, we would have raised over $3 million.
Okay.
Yes.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So let's talk about the cost, how much it is for people to take part in the Walk for the Cure on Saturday.
Okay, so registration for adults is $25, and for children under 12, it's $15. And please know that we will also be accepting registrations on the day, so you can still come out, you can still support, but in advance of Saturday, you can visit any CIBC Caribbean branch in order to register.
Wow. Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's good stuff. All right, so remind people about the route and what they need to do for Saturday morning to get ready for it.
Okay, so this Saturday again, October 5th, we will be having Walk for the Cure. We will be starting at the Goodman's Bay Corporate Center for our runners. You will be going all the way to our CIBC Sandyport branch and coming back. And for the walkers, you can turn around at Sandals and meet us back at the walk site at Goodman's Bay Corporate Center. So meet us there at 6:30 a.m. We're starting 6:30 a.m. sharp.
And it's good to have that distinction, Goodman's Bay Corporate Center versus Goodman's Bay Park. And the Corporate Center is next to the Prime Minister's office so that people come to the right place.
Street, yes.
And so, Anita, can you tell us a little bit about what support groups actually do, or in particular your support group? Like, what are some of the things that they have done over the years that you have been involved in it that can help people to understand why they shouldn't fight alone? Because a lot of women and men choose to silently battle this without enough support. So what are some of the initiatives that happen within your group that would entice other people to come out and participate?
Well, I know we are constantly giving out information in terms of webinars. We have training sessions. We have a lot of outreach programs within various communities as well. This year we had a phenomenal fun run walk as well, the first one, and looking forward to another one next year. We do a lot of things in terms of collaborating with corporate entities. Going in, giving information. So if you would want us to come in and actually you could schedule that with us, you can go online, Jenny Dean Caring and Sharing. It's on social media as well. And our president, Dean, will be more than happy to come in and arrange a training session for you to give you more information. A lot of people don't even know. They don't know what to look out for. They don't know the signs and symptoms. We collab with a lot of doctors and physicians as well. It's ongoing. We are often as well. We also have an initiative where we do water drives. We do blood drives as well, because, that is something that is actually needed in the community with cancer survivors, especially in going into surgery. And then we also have an ongoing program where we actually have breast cancer paraphernalia that we have for sale at the various food stores, Super Value. We do it on Saturdays. We were in the mall at Marathon this past week. So it's ongoing. It's a constant thing, and we're always coming up with new initiatives and ways to actually reach persons in the community and to let them know exactly what's going on in terms of with cancer. And to also let you know also that cancer is not really a death sentence. You can survive, you can thrive with cancer.
Absolutely. And the paraphernalia, there's more.
Yeah,
this
there's
week?
more. Yeah, we're actually going to be in the mall at Marathon every day this week, up to Saturday. The students need T-shirts for school on Fridays. We have youth shirts available as well. We have tumblers. We're going to be at Super Value Winton, Super Value Westridge, Super Value Golden Gates. We're going to be at Solomon's, Yamacross, Solomon's Old Trail as well. So we are just trying to be very active, and we are going to be giving out flyers on how to do the breast exam. We're also giving out information still about cervical cancer, even though it's Breast Cancer Month, because we are an all cancer group. So if you need any paraphernalia, any T-shirts, any items in support of breast cancer, look us up at one of those places. Our team is ready and willing to serve.
Okay, all right. Leanne, someone was asking in terms of miles, how long is the walk and the run? How long are we looking at here?
So we're looking at about 5 miles.
That's if you do the
5K, sorry.
So that's about 3 miles or so if you do the
walk.
The walk,
Yeah.
or is that the run
Is it the
distance?
No, the run is, I think, 5.
The run is, that sounds about right.
Yeah, and the walk is
And the
about
walk's a
3.
little under.
Yeah, a little under 3. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. And you're
Yeah.
expecting lots of survivors to come out as well.
Yeah, Leanne, I think you have some entertainers.
Yeah.
You have, I think you talked about Bodine being one of the entertainers.
Yeah, so Bodine is actually our hostess.
Yes.
And you know with Bodine, she's a lot of fun and a lot of energy. And she will also be performing. So if you want to
Absolutely.
see Bodine, that's another incentive to come out and support
Right,
as
and
well.
you're also providing free breakfast as long as
Yes.
supplies last
Yes.
with Bahamas Embassy, right?
Yeah, Believers Embassy International will be
Right.
providing free hot breakfast.
Yeah.
So not only you walk in,
Right.
you're going to get fed.
Man, I
as
know
well.
all of Felicia business because I think I know that like your platinum sponsor is Doctors Hospital.
Hospital,
You have
yes.
John Bull. You have Restaurants
have
Bahamas,
KFC,
Dunkin',
yes.
KFC.
Quality Home Center, the
Yes.
mall at Marathon.
Yeah, we have a lot
We
of
have a lot of
sponsors this year. Absolutely. Yeah.
The quest has got all the answers.
All her information. I read. I have all her information. You have a lot of sponsors in Abaco.
We have a lot of sponsors
in
in
Abaco. So you want to
Yes.
shout out to your sponsors.
Definitely. So we have Starfish Construction in Abaco. We have KinFit, who will be providing some warm-up, cool-down activities as well. We have Fruit of the Vine Bookstore. We have Agape Dental. We have quite a bit of sponsors in Abaco. They really came out and supported strong this year.
Excellent.
Yes.
All right, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Saturday, one more time, let people know how they can register for this and that they can do it on the morning.
Yeah, so the morning of, you can show up there. We accept cash, of course, but we will
But you'll
also
have
have
credit cards.
Yes,
Yeah.
we will have the terminals on site so that you can pay with your card. You can transfer the funds online. We will have all that information available for you. And to register in advance, of course, you could visit any CIBC Caribbean branch, or you can visit our website,
You have to
CIBC.
stand on the line in the branch?
No,
you don't have
to.
once you let someone know what you're there for,
branch
we
is
have champions in each branch
wow.
that will actually assist you.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and Dwight, right before we wrap up with CIBC, I think I want to send a shout out to them because CIBC Bahamas does not take any money raised from the walk to cover the cost of the walk. They actually cover the cost of the walk, and every dollar from registration, fundraising, sponsorship is distributed to the cancer organization.
Yes.
So I think that's commendable. That the organization foots the cost, and then everything that it collects, it distributes to those that they support. And that support is like the Cancer Association in Grand Bahama, the Cancer Society in Grand Bahama, the Cancer Society in Abaco, the Cancer Society in Abaco. So it's not just New Providence Cancer support groups and organizations that get funding. It's like every island that the bank has a representation in, they get funding as well.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That is great stuff. Keep up the wonderful work that you're doing, and we know it's going to be great. The CIBC Walk for the Cure, Saturday, all over the Bahamas.
Yes.
all
Not
over.
just in Providence. Leanne Aubrey-Mitchell, thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
And Anita Roll, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for
To
having
Quest
me.
Date, thank you as
I'm
well.
saying, though, I'm saying.
Dee Dee Caring and Sharing Cancer Support Group. Thank you. All right, we're going to take a break for news and be back with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Let's face it, life is hard, but your healthcare doesn't have to be. Give yourself peace of mind with LAMP plans at Doctors Hospital. Sign up today and enjoy the low-cost advantage. Get up to $5,000 in credit limit for non-covered services and 2 free nutritional consultations. Choose your plan today by visiting doctorshosp.com/lamp. We make healthcare easy.
Craving something delicious and freshly made? Dunkin' has got you covered all day your way. From savory sausage, egg and cheese to crispy bacon, ham, and even tuna, our sandwiches are made to order just for you. Choose your favorite. Bagels, croissant, toast, or muffin. Whatever you want, we've got it. Whether it's a classic grilled cheese or a hearty club, your perfect sandwich is just a bite away. Dunkin's fresh, made-to-order sandwiches made all day, every day. Only at Dunkin'. The Bahamas runs on Dunkin'.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Tuesday, October 1st, 2024. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with DeQuesta Dean, and we are resuming this morning our monthly series with Small Business Development Center, and very pleased to have him back with us this morning as we talk about something that's been talked about a lot on the show.
Yes, definitely.
People have been asking for this for a long time, their Men in Business Standalone Grant. And here to tell us all about this. Very pleased to have back with us Alexia Johnson, the Communications and Marketing Lead. And good to see you.
Nice to see you as well. Thank you for having us back.
You brought a bunch of gentlemen with you.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I brought the best of the best.
Okay. Yeah, so we have SBDC Business Consultant Marquista Thompson. We have from Toastmasters Club 1600 with the Mentorship Steering Committee, Dwight Burrows, another Dwight. That means he's a good guy. and we have from Jetlocke back with us, Nikoan Johnson. Great to see you again. Welcome back to the show. All right. So we were taking credit for this earlier, Alexia, that with your appearances on the show, these guys would be texting in like, what about us? What about us? And we're saying, this is what led to this, right?
I think a mix of the respondents that we got from our survey that you all helped us to promote. So that helped in developing this full program. So shout out to Morning Blend and the Morning Blend family.
Right. All right. So let's set it up for those who understand. Your programs are available and open to anybody.
Yes, they are. So the Men in Business program, much like many of our other programs, is open to all. So not only those entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs in New Providence, but also those on the Family Islands. In this program, there's a mentorship training aspect, and that's virtual, the training. So people are able to participate and get all of the information they need without necessarily without having to be in person. They can have that full experience that they need and that they're interested in.
Awesome.
Yep.
So based on the survey that you did, what were people saying? Why were men feeling they needed something specific as opposed to the other programs that you have?
Definitely. So I think that the needs are very specific to men. So what is it that they want that training on? So they want to know more about supply chain management, managing their funding. Funding was a very big ask. It was actually the largest ask that we had from men what they were looking for within a program. I think we had more than 65% of men were saying that was something they were interested in. And then also they expressed the need for mentorship, having somebody walk them through that entrepreneurial experience. So we took all of those things and we were like, okay, our programs for the most part already contain all of these things, but how can we amplify it? How can we ensure that the training that we're offering is specific to what a lot of these male business, like these male entrepreneurs in the Bahamas are interested in, and what is it that they actually need so that their businesses can be successful?
So do you think that there was some level of confusion about your offerings and perhaps that they were more for women than men? Or did you have less men apply versus women to your standard grants that made you decide to do this particular standalone grant for men?
I think that it was the call. So there were a lot of men that were asking for this program. I think in light of seeing the Women Entrepreneurs experience, that program was really impactful. And I think that men wanted something that was curated for them. We have many different programs. We just wrapped up our Creative Entrepreneurs Initiative. And men and women were both eligible for that. But I think that the focus there is on creatives and how creatives can manage their businesses. And I think that men wanted something that was like, hey, I'm a man and my experience is very unique, and I would love to have a mentor or training that is curated for that.
Okay.
So I think a mix of seeing our other programs but wanting something specifically for themselves, and then also the success of the Women Entrepreneurs Initiative too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Congratulations on that.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. So is it going to be very different from what the other programs are like? I mean, how's it going to be different? It's all like the application forms are all in blue and they're football characters. I mean, what is going to be different?
So I think what's different is probably the partnership. Working specifically with not only Carnival Corporation, who isn't here today, but they're a really big partner in the program, but also with Toastmasters Club 1600, having them work with us and providing those mentors for the program. I think that their wealth of experience, and I'm sure that Dwight will share that later on, but I think their wealth of experience is something that is unique. And I'm pretty sure this is, I think, the only Toastmasters Club with all men, is it, or are there?
Yeah,
is
they
it prominently
in the Bahamas, right?
In the Bahamas,
yeah, they are.
Yeah,
the only way isn't it the only?
I'm not sure.
Talking to the mic there, Dwight.
At this point,
but it's for here for sure.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, the current membership includes males only.
Yeah, so I think that their experience really helps them to be they have work experience, and also within the organization puts them in a unique position to be able to mentor a lot of the entrepreneurs that participate in the program.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the response. How it's been. You officially launched this last week. Is that right?
Yes. So we did. We did launch last week, and I think we can have Marquise to talk a little bit more about what that looks like.
Sure thing. I'll take the baton there. So I think we had a complete registration of 311 mentees. That registration actually crossed straight across the length and breadth of the Bahamas. I think we have maybe about 12 islands represented in that number. So the response has been very good. And we anticipate a great session. It's modules that these individuals, the mentees, will actually participate in that will be spearheaded by the Toastmasters Association, and we anticipate that will be a very both productive and well-received program.
Yeah. What are some of the subjects for the modules that they will be participating in?
So operations, supply chain management, branding and marketing. You may see a familiar face there for one of those courses. I think they talk a little bit more about, I'm drawing a blank right now, but I would
communication is one of them, right? Dwight, do you have Dwight? I think Dwight. Go ahead. Yeah, those modules.
Yeah. Talking to that mic there.
So if I'm not mistaken, there are a series of 10 different modules for the program itself. So some of those speak to solving a problem for your community, creating an identity for your business. So that speaks to brand building, distributing your products and services, all very important in my view.
Yeah.
How you optimize supply chain management for efficiencies, building relationships with your customers, how you upgrade your digital and marketing skills, building and growing a team, mastering labor laws in the Bahamas, which I think is important for all business owners.
Yeah.
Protecting intellectual property and understanding how you sustain your business by generating a profit to ensure it's a going concern. Yeah.
Well, those
So
are
powerful
great.
program, I think.
Yes, I agree. Last week, Dwight and I were having a conversation about a plumber that I'd hired to do some work. And there was like a myth, there was not enough communication. And at one point I reached out. And then I reached out. I'm like, hey, you were supposed to be here at 6 o'clock. You know, what's happening? And then he came the next day and we had some challenges. And I'm like, hey, I'm not happy about this. You were supposed to come here at 12 o'clock. I don't want anybody in my house late at night. And the plumber was like, oh, but you acting like you doing the work, right? And I'm like, hold up, buddy, right? Because you acting like you ain't getting paid, right? So like programs like this would be wonderful to help those people who are working like this. It's only me. I'm the only person in my business. So I'm the plumber, but I'm also the administrator. I'm the communicator. I'm that. So just to help them like understand what that communication looks like and how to build that relationship, because communication is so important. Absolutely. If you can't make it, just call, right? Yeah. So that's wonderful to help small businesses understand the value of their customers and how to go about building customer loyalty by how you show up and your communication. So what sort of trades or what sort of careers do you see applying for the grant so far?
So the grant application, we have people applying for the program just in general. So not specifically for the grant, but for the training. So I don't have the statistics on what we see, but I think we'd see a mix of professional services if we see more of those like hands-on industry. So maybe somebody that's in plumbing or somebody that might be working on.
What's the total number you can accommodate, and what's the max that you can?
There is no max.
For that's
no
great.
For the actual program.
For the program,
training.
okay.
Mm-hmm. Now for the grant, there is no set number. There's just an amount that each person can apply for.
Okay.
Yeah. And I just want to add that we've actually extended the registration date to October 4th for individuals that have not yet registered or are not yet aware of what the program is. And essentially, and Dwight will talk more about their role. But what we want to see and what we intend to happen is that these persons will be coached, mentored into how to create a successful business. So you talk about the plumber. So individuals like that sometimes just need coaching.
Yes.
As to what and Dwight and his team and his colleagues are most suited because they have become successful businessmen. They have become successful individuals within their own industries, and certainly these different industries are a great cross section of where these individuals are actually placed at this moment. So I think it's great when you are able to actually look at a mentor and see somebody that's become successful in a particular industry, and you look at that person and say, well, this is what I aspire to be. This is where I aspire to go. And I think that's the role that they will play, and certainly the benefit that our mentees will receive from being a part of the program.
So you need to be in business already, or could you be thinking about a business? What are the requirements?
So either. So both existing and aspiring entrepreneurs are eligible for the program. And just to put a plug here, if you are interested so far from what you've heard, you can check out our website, sbdcbahamas.com, or check out any of our social media platforms. We have the links to the application for the program just to sign up so that you can get started next week.
Yeah.
Okay. I saw Dwight, you are in Club 1600, and it has a reputation for building successful men or men with virtue and value. Can you tell us a bit about the success of the All Men's Club and the camaraderie and support that it lends to men who are building businesses or who have careers in that, and the value they bring to this actual program?
Yeah, sure. So very loaded question, and Makisa, I appreciate the pressure you placed on us based on the expectations coming from this program. Club 1600, I would have shared yesterday during the press release that we have a rich history. It is the first Bahamas branch of Toastmasters International in the Bahamas, formed about 56 years ago.
Oh, wow.
If I'm not mistaken, the club was formed under the patronage of Lyndon Oscar Finland.
Okay.
And so since then, we have had I think we have made a noticeable impact on the community in general. And I want to be very clear because I'll be honest, maybe there's certain things I won't share on the radio, but I want to start by saying just because we think there's some perceptions out in the community that Toastmasters International is not gender specific. Yeah, I want to be very clear with that.
Right.
We have 270,000 members across the world in 14,000 clubs, I think in more than 150 countries. And so I just want to ensure that everyone understands that Toastmasters International is a club for anyone.
Yeah.
I think once you're 18 years or older, and you would know that you are a Toastmaster. So with that out of the way, I think it's a unique club, 1600. We do have a specific focus on supporting, coaching, and guiding men within the Bahamian community. And I had the opportunity to serve as president back in 2002, 2003 as the 38th president of the club. We've had 60. The current president now is number 60.
Wow.
But if I can give a simple example to highlight the impact of what Toastmasters generally has had on the country and Club 1600, the country is currently led by two distinguished Toastmasters. The Prime Minister was a former president or past president of Club 1600.
Okay.
And Deputy Prime Minister, distinguished Toastmaster, I. Chester Cooper, is also a distinguished Toastmaster. That's just two very easy examples to share, but we can go on and on. What we bring to this specific program, that is the Man in Business Initiative from the mentorship program, we bring 25. We've hand-selected through a pretty rigorous process, 25 members of Toastmasters Club 1600. And with that group, there's a combined 400 plus years of Toastmasters experience and more than 500 years of experiences in key industries. A lot of these members have significant experience locally, regionally, having led a number of different associations regionally, and global experience. And so to the point about, we have 311 participants in this program. Wow. So what we expect is a huge demand across different and diverse needs. Mm-hmm. And with this group of 25, and the good news about what we offer from Club 1600 is where we don't have a particular set of skills or experiences within that group of 25, then we expand outside of that group to the balance of our membership, and we make an effort to bring all of that to the mentorship program to support these mentees. One last plug. A lot of persons miss the significant value of mentorship generally. Yeah. And so I must say that we also recognize that of these 311 individuals, there's a lot for us as an organization to learn from them.
Yes.
So outside of our excitement to support them, we're looking forward to the opportunities to learn more about what's happening in our communities in the SME space.
Yeah, awesome. Excellent. Yeah. So Nikoan Johnson, as someone who's been through SBDC programs before, tell us about this and what do you think of a program like this, and would you have done something like this?
Yes, certainly. Boy, I think this is amazing, right? When I think of it, when I think of the SBDC, I think of Silicon Valley, because I was very enamored by Silicon Valley and how it works, right? So Silicon Valley doesn't work without the VC firms and all the support that new companies get. Mm-hmm. And I think for a long time, we in the Bahamas didn't have this kind of support for business, right? So you were either out on your own or you were struggling trying to get financing, funding, and that kind of thing for a long time. But the SBDC, they come and create a more palatable avenue to get funding for your business. And then not only funding, because funding is very important, I mentioned that, but also, which is also very important, that I think you heard a moment ago, would be the other types of support, right? So you get assistance from learning how to operate your business. You get assistance from other persons within that went for me, for example, right? I would have met so many other persons that anytime we have an issue, we can always talk about it.
That's support.
Right? Yeah. And so that is very, very important.
Yeah.
I found that to be. And so the role of the SBDC, I think, can't be overstated.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think very important.
But I think, too, what's important for everyone to understand is we can only take ourselves as far as our own experience. So aligning ourselves with businesses and mentors and organizations that are far advanced of what we want or what we have already achieved can help us to grow and to stretch our capacities and even help us to be a whole lot more successful. So if you're in isolation, that's a dangerous place to be. Now, from a time component, like what is the expectation of the participants? Do they come to a class? Is it virtual? If it's self-paced, like what's the structure of the actual program?
Sure. So for the program, it is in some way it's self-paced. So you have a set of videos that you would, like training videos that you would need to watch. But there are, I think it's bi-weekly master classes that you take, which give you an opportunity to actually speak with not necessarily a mentor, but the leader for the classes for that week and be able to ask these one-on-one questions. So you get to also walk through, I guess, some sort of homework. So assignments that you may work on during that program and see how other people who are in the program are navigating those assignments. Also, you're able to ask questions. So if there's something that you didn't fully understand when you were watching the video on your own, or if it raised a question for you, maybe not something that you didn't understand, but something that you do want to know more about, you have that accessibility to ask those questions.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So Nikoan, just hearing that, I'm so sorry. I just take over your interview, right? So Nikoan, just hearing all of that, right? Can you help someone who is saying, I want to get in this program, but I don't want to give the time to understand that if your confidence increased, knowing that you had someone that you could fall back on or you could tap into, how did you see yourself grow by having that support system?
So, and you said something just now, right? I think first you have to have the mind, right? For me, I try not to doubt yourself to the point that you don't move, right? You want to know that you can do it, and then you want to know that the opportunity is there, but you have to take that chance, right? And then you have to go and do it. But also, what does answer now specifically the way it had assisted us, me in particular. So I was new to business, right? Because I was starting. I had a lot of ideas, right? Idea after idea after idea, and so I had tried so many things.
Yeah.
And because you're new and you're alone, before the SBDC, you're alone. You're just shooting in the wind, trying to see what sticks, trying to see how this works, and then you learn. For me, I learned a very expensive lesson. Wow. One time, I had saved $20,000, and I went trying to do this business and lost it all.
Oh, wow.
Right. So I learned a very expensive lesson. But the support of the SBDC then come and mitigate me from learning another very expensive lesson, right? And so the advisors, they are very, very knowledgeable. And then they have so much knowledge in different areas that can assist you in just about any challenge that you might face when you do start to operate, even before you operate, because the advisors, they're very, very accessible. It was easy to reach my advisor at any point via an email or text message at any time, any question. So even if you have a challenge, even from before you even get your business license, you can ask a question. I'm telling you. So they support you from the very beginning, straight up to what we were 3 years in now, straight up to now.
Okay.
Wow. And again, this program is how many weeks in total? How long is it going on for?
5 weeks.
Yep.
Five.
weeks.
Okay.
So just a little more than a
that's
month.
not even
Okay.
a long
Yeah,
time.
that's not long at all.
That's great.
All right.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we've got some text messages coming in, some questions, and we might be able to take some more. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us. We're going to be back after this break.
At CFAL, we understand that a secure future is the greatest gift you can give your employees. That's why our tailor-made group pension solutions are designed to fit the needs of both large and small companies. With CFAL, you can provide the retirement you and your employees deserve, ensuring peace of mind and financial stability for years to come. Join the many businesses that have already entrusted CFAL to create the right pension plan for their employees, and let us help you build a brighter future for your team. Visit us at cfal.com to get started on building wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Bahamas, are you ready? Keep the vibe alive. Music group, along with Alpha Sounds, present the best of the best. Rake and Scrape Explosion Reloaded. This is the biggest one-day all-Bohemian concert of the year. Featuring KB, D-Mac, Abby, Mama D, Fan Sean, Shine 242, The Falcon, and more. Mark your calendars. It's going down November the 2nd at Super Club Breezes Ground. Tickets now available at BahamasEtickets.com or both Beauty Shack location. General admission $60. VIP, Skybox, and Sky Pods also available. For more info, call 394-0819 or email keepthevibealive242@gmail.com. Experience the magic once again with more legends for one night only. Come party with us November 2nd at Best of the Best. Rake and Scrape Explosion Reloaded.
Welcome back to Morning Blend Business here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Duquesa Dean. We are talking about the Men in Business Standalone grant with the Small Business Development Center. We've got a full studio with us. We've got Alexia Johnson, we've got Rakisa Thompson, Nikoan Johnson, and Dwight Burrows making some great points off the air. Dwight, about men taking the leap, taking the chances. We got to repeat that on the air.
Yes, it's important.
But yeah, let's let people know, right? Nikoan, you were saying you talked about it.
His loss.
The loss there, you learned so much from that.
And you bounce back.
But you weren't afraid, right? We were saying that many of us would just climb up and get into a shell.
So the thing is, you have to fall back on a dream, right? Mm-hmm. You have to fall back on something inside of you that just wouldn't give up. Sometimes you might take some time and cry, right? Because when I lost the money, I was crying for about a day or two. Then I say, boy, get up.
Yeah,
you know, you got to go again. We got to go again. So I had to figure out a way to try and get back. What I was doing, I say, okay, that didn't work out. Mm-hmm. What are we going to do next, right? And then the SBDC was heaven sent, right? Because when I heard about the program, I said, what? I have to go apply. And so I went in. I had my idea. Actually, I had another idea. So my idea switched midway, right?
Okay.
As I started to, what I'm doing now, I always knew I wanted to do something with it, but I wasn't sure, right? But I didn't have it quite yet. But midway through the program, my idea had switched, and then I started working on that. And that's where I had focused my SBDC experience into.
Well,
into
there are
what I'm
two
doing now.
things I get from that, though. I get never give up, but I also get that there's no straight line to success,
Certainly.
right?
Certainly.
That's what
I
you were
think
saying.
Dwight
Without
was,
a doubt.
talking about,
Yeah, no, so very interesting conversation during the break. So the young man did mention.
Yeah, just talk right into that mic.
Sorry. So the young man did mention the challenge with a key failure and how, and I think the Alexia mentioned how she would have possibly given up if she had that type of challenge. So I think one of the key messages is that, and I referenced a story about a conversation yesterday with a colleague, I think in around the mid-40s, who was talking about all the things that he wished he did do in the past and some of the things he didn't do. And I took that opportunity to remind them of some of the great success stories in business. Ray Kroc, I think it is, from McDonald's. If I'm not mistaken, he didn't sell his first milkshake machine until he was 54, 55, and eventually became hugely successful in building a strong McDonald's franchise throughout the United States and obviously globally. We all know Warren Buffett, who is, I think, heading close to a net worth of $200 billion, but he was in his early 60s. Again, if my records, if I recall correctly, when his net worth hit his first billion. And then there's similar stories. The Colonel Sanders as an example. And so
quite up in age when he became a success.
Absolutely. And so the key message is not to give up. And there's a typical saying that I use and I share with a number of persons who are close to me. Fail. Don't be afraid of failure, obviously. And approach failure with a certain attitude. And that is, the attitude I take is, you have to fail frequently, you have to fail fast, and you have to fail forward.
Forward.
Right? And so, again, I think it's just a key message to put out there.
I got to ask this. So again, the number of men that we heard months ago saying that we're all alone, nobody's checking for us. What do you say to people who are thinking that this country is not designed to work for men these days? Did any of you ever feel that way? I mean, that it's all about the women. It's nothing for us anymore.
So,
where is that coming from?
From an entrepreneurial perspective, I'd say stop crying, right?
Right.
I'd say stop crying. You have to get up and you have to make things work for yourself, right? You don't. Firstly, you don't look for someone to do it for you, right? You have to think of how I'm going to do it for myself. So once you start from that perspective, and then I think you begin to see opportunities, right? So it's kind of like a question: is the glass half full, or is the glass half empty? You know what I mean? And then once you started to change your perspective, everything else changes. I promise you.
Yeah, Dwight.
I have a lot of views on this, but I like that comment. Stop crying. I think there's a key opportunity for men generally within our community to be more accountable. For the opportunities, for their own success and their own progress. There are significant opportunities. Of course, there are opportunities for the community to help to support them more. Because make no mistake about it, we do have a challenge with what I call toxic masculinity in the way men were raised compared to women. And that's an entirely different conversation that I don't want to get into now. But I do think men need to step up to the plate a lot more. When we look at some of the ratios at UB as an example, if I'm not mistaken, it's 80-20 female versus male. My number could be slightly off, but the key point is there's a noticeable difference in terms of the number of women that are taking on key opportunities to better themselves, to educate themselves, versus men. So there's a key opportunity for us to step up to the plate. And a plug for Toastmasters Club 1600. It is a very supportive, high quality, non-toxic learning environment open to all men within the country. And we invite you to come out every Thursday at 8 p.m. at the Red Cross Hall. That's on JFK. And get to experience a unique opportunity.
What time, Dwight?
8 p.m.
8 o'clock. I missed that part. Okay.
Alexia, you were going to say something.
No, I think Nikoan captured it
Okay.
best. I think looking from the outside, like as a woman looking at the male experience, I think I would love to see more men taking advantage of this program in particular. We've had so many men participating in our other programs, creative entrepreneurs,
And
young
it's been about
innovators.
50-50, hasn't it been? Or
In certain cases, I don't have the statistics on all of the programs, but we've been seeing men are participating in the programs. But this one specifically, because I know that the thought that went into the development was focused on what businessmen in the Bahamas have asked for. I'm excited to see how many people we'll have get involved with the program. We had about 400 respondents to the survey, and now we're growing to have almost that number in people who want to participate in the program. And dare I say, I would really love to see more men apply for this program than we had for our digital divas and our women entrepreneurs. We had 900 plus women participate in that program. So I'm excited to see how these numbers grow. So before October 4th, apply so that you can participate in the program. There's a wealth of knowledge. There's so many opportunities.
And it's free.
And it's free.
Yeah.
It is free.
Great opportunity. All right, so somebody's asking about the standalone grant, how that works, what are the requirements, how do you get that?
Sure. So the standalone grant, it's something that we have for all of our key programs. In order to be eligible for that, you have to participate in the key elements of the Men in Business program. So that includes completing the gender equality survey. That's all of these elements. The information for them are available on our website and also on our social media platforms. So firstly, the gender equality survey. It's about a 5-minute survey for you to complete. It takes no time. Okay. Then we have our business blueprint training course. That will be about 5 weeks. That's online, so you don't need to physically be somewhere. You can just log on, watch the classes whatever time, and then participate in the masterclass offering. So those will be on Zoom as well, but those are set, I think they might be at 7 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then also the participation in our Empowerment Forum. I think that will be really exciting. So that will be hosted on November 19th. I think that's International Men's Day.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So we will be having we don't have the speakers where I can say their names as yet, but we'll be having some interesting and dynamic speakers, having these pull apart, forum, discussions so that we can talk about, well, not me.
Right.
Absolutely not Alexia, but men will be speaking about what it is that helped them to develop their businesses and what are some other aspects that they may want to discuss that may not be specific to business, but that might be impacting their personal life, which by extension also impacts their business.
Sure. Excellent. All right. Yeah. And again, let people know how to sign up for it. They only have a few more days now, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So how they can apply. So by or before October 4th, the information is on our website, sbdcbahamas.com, or on our social media platforms. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram. I think last time we said the only thing we don't have is carrier pigeon, but we might work on that. But all of those platforms are SBDC Bahamas.
Awesome.
Oh, and someone's again, the grant, how much can you get? How much?
So up to $10,000.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Excellent
that's
stuff.
Pretty good, yeah. And I like that you have to put some skin in the game, right?
Oh,
you
absolutely.
have to actually attend the classes. I assume pass the classes. You have to show up to support some of the events, that sort of stuff. So while we may say it's free, it's actually an exchange of your time for the resources that you're going to learn.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that sacrifice of the time and resources in that way is indicative of how you will use the funding that you could potentially receive.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And this
Great.
would all start when?
So that would start on October 4th. So, no, that would start next Monday.
Next Monday. All right.
Okay.
So
Great.
apply, get in.
Apply today or before October 4th.
Come on, man. They have to get more than 900 men. You have to beat the women, okay?
No excuse.
No excuse. This is for you.
And then I think speaking back to what he said about Warren Buffett, I think it's also important to note that there's no age. Age needs to be limit here.
Okay.
So I think if you're enthused, certainly apply.
Yeah.
Love it.
Excellent. Great stuff. Alexia Johnson, thank you so much for being here. Nikoan Johnson, Marquista Thompson, Dwight Burrows, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Great stuff. Yeah. And I know we're going to be getting updates along the way.
Definitely.
On this and a whole lot more with the Small Business Development Center. Thanks again for being here this morning.
Thank you for having us.
All right, we're going to take a break and be back with the final few minutes of Morning Blend Business on this Tuesday morning. Our series resumes as the fourth Wednesday each month with the Small Business Development Center during Morning Blend Business. So we'll see you again in a few weeks.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll be back. Stay with us.
Are you ready? Keep the vibe alive. Music group, along with Alpha Sounds, present the best of the best. Rake and Scrape Explosion Reloaded. This is the biggest one-day all-Bohemian concert of the year. Featuring KB, D-Mac, Abby, Mama D, Fan Sean, Shine 242, The Falcon, and more. Mark your calendars. It's going down November the 2nd at Super Club Races Ground. Tickets now available at BahamasEtickets.com or both Beauty Shack locations. General admission $60. VIP, Skybox, and Skypods also available. For more info, call 394-0819 or email keepthevibealive242@gmail.com. Experience the magic once again with more legends for one night only. Come party with us November 2nd at Best of the Mass. Rake and Scrape Explosion Reloaded.
Planning for retirement can be overwhelming, but with CFAL, it doesn't have to be. We offer tailor-made individual, group, and pension solutions that take the guesswork out of retirement planning. Whether it's for you or your company, don't leave your future to chance and let the trusted hands of CFAL's experts guide you toward peace of mind and financial stability. Low upfront costs and affordable monthly payments make it easy for you to build wealth so you can live well. Visit us at cfal.com to start on your path toward financial freedom. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
It's time for your morning business report, brought to you by CFAL, with the new Beaches Resort being developed by Sandals Resorts International on Exuma. SRI Executive Chairman Adam Stewart says the average that the 3.8 average guests per room for a Beaches Resort will mean much more airlift and more opportunities for Exuma and Exumians. That was generated by the now closed Sandals Emerald Bay property. You can read about that story in today's Guardian Business section. The Court of Appeal has granted Commonwealth Brewery Burn House Limited leave to appeal to the Privy Council to challenge a ruling on a $598,511 bill from Anheuser-Busch International on the right to terminate a distribution agreement with 3.5 months' notice. President of the Court of Appeal, John Isaacs, in an oral ruling given on September 23rd, granted leave for CBL BHL, fulfilling a conditional leave left by his predecessor, Sir Michael Barnett, on March 14th before he demanded office. The matter between CBL BHL and Anheuser-Busch involves the termination of a distribution agreement. You can read about that fascinating story in today's Guardian Business section. The Tourism Development Corporation has opened a loan and grant program already capitalized to the tune of $2.2 million that will make it a little easier for Bahamians to enter into the vacation home rental market. The TDC is calling the initiative the Home Sweet Home Program, which is a partnership between the TDC and the Department of Development Bank. It will allow access to $10,000 or more in funding on a case-by-case basis. And overseas, we've been telling you about it. The dock workers on strike in the U.S. From Maine to Texas, dock workers at 36 ports across the eastern U.S. are now on strike for the first time in decades. and the work stoppage could snarl supply chains, leading to shortages and higher prices if it stretches on for more than a few weeks. Workers began walking picket lines early today in a strike over wages and automation, even though some progress had been reported in the latest contract talks. The contract between the ports and about 45,000 members of the International Longshoremen Association expired at midnight, the strike coming just weeks before the U.S. presidential election and could be a factor if the shortages impact voters. From Europe, inflation in the 20 countries that use the euro fell to 1.8% in September, below the European Central Bank's target of 2% for the first time in more than 3 years, as falling energy prices give consumers relief from a burst of inflation that at one point reached into double digits. Tuesday's official figure, coupled with an anemic growth outlook, could pave the way for faster interest rate cuts from the ECB, which has already trimmed rates twice. Inflation fell from 2.2% in August, according to the European Union statistics agency Eurostat. The last time inflation hit the ECB's 2% goal was in June 2021, when it was 1.9%. Economists have started to consider the possibility of a rate cut at the bank's October 17th meeting. A few weeks ago, the expectations were that the central bank would wait until December before lowering borrowing costs again for consumers and businesses. And business sentiment among Japan's large market manufacturers stood unchanged in the latest quarter from the previous quarter, according to a closely watched survey called Tankan, released today. The Bank of Japan survey put the benchmark index at plus 13 for the July through September quarter, the same from the previous survey conducted April through June. A positive number means more companies say they are optimistic about business conditions than those feeling pessimistic. The index for large non-manufacturers stood at plus 34, up from plus 33 the previous quarter. The results were in line with analysts' forecasts. Japan's economic growth is thought to be on a relatively solid ground, managing to grow despite pressures from a declining workforce, a weakening currency, and deflationary pressures that previously dragged on for years. But recent data show average wages are holding up, or in some sectors rising, adding to market optimism. Tourism, which brings in foreign revenue, is booming now that restrictions related to the coronavirus pandemic are lifted. The Tankan is among the data being closely watched to show what the central bank might do to interest rates. The Bank of Japan ended negative interest rates in March, and in July raised its short-term policy rate to 0.25%. Closer to home in your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX. From Monday, your market movers, APD Limited moving 230 shares, closing at 44.64, unchanged. Kalina Holdings moving 3,591, up 22 cents to 11.42. Doctors Hospital moving 1,000, up 40 cents to 10.50. Fidelity Bank moving 5.50, unchanged at 17.45. Folk Call moving 1,500, up 42 cents to $6. Consolidated Water up 5 cents, closing at $5.04. Emira Incorporated down 9 cents, closing at $9.64. The BISX All Share Index closing at 2,987.07, up 1.00. That's your Market Watch, and that is your Morning Business Report, brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. And that's going to do it for us today. Duquesa Dean.
Hey.
Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, I hope everybody takes advantage of this.
Yeah.
They keep texting. They've been texting us for
months.
Saying, what about us? What about us?
Yeah.
And,
well, now this is about you.
Yeah. This is the opportunity.
Yeah.
SBDC, folks. All right. I'll see you next week.
Yeah. See you then.
And I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, have a great day, everybody. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green next.